electricity that there are these three modules which defines a computer system. Fine. So here those are, this is a memory module, this is the IO module, and these two modules are controlled by this CPU or a central processing module, right? These two aids means helps the CPU model, okay? So you can see a memory module has some inputs. It could be a read signal, write signal, address or a data. And the output from memory module is data for further processing. So you can see the data is out over here and data is in to the CPU, okay? In IO module also there is a read signal is there, write signal is there, address of an external device is there, internal data is given, external data is given to IO module. So IO module has all those inputs. The output of IO module is internal data, okay, external data and interrupt signals, okay. So interrupt signals are some things which we'll be learning in third unit, that is process organization, okay. Interrupt means we are stopping or we are halting ourselves for something, that is called as an interrupt, okay. So this instruction are input to CPU, data is there and interrupt signals are here, okay. So on this inputs CPU will do some kind of processing, it will generate some control signals, it will generate data and address for request to the memory or IO module. Yeah. So first one, memory model. So in memory model there are different inputs, that is read signal, write signal. I am saying signals because these signals are generated by CPU, that is a control signal. So if a CPU says that yes I want to read a memory location, so address will be sent along with the control signal. So this read write will be done, and then whatever address is requested or whatever data is requested or data is given back to the memory for storage. Are you getting me? And output of memory is always data, okay. So memory receives and sends data, okay, receives address from different components, that if CPU wants address for some kind of processing, so it will receive address as a command, okay. So what kind of control signals are requested to a memory, that is read write and timing. Timing means like what uh, this signal of read or write or this data is requested after 3 cycles or this address is requested after 4 instruction cycle, that kind of timing is given. Remember our computer works on electricity or electrical signals and clock signals, okay, zeros and ones. Remember that, that's why timing is important, okay, as an control signal. Next one is input output connectivity. Now this has a lot of inputs and a lot of outputs to it, right? So read write signals are there. Again, these are the control signals. Okay. Then address from my external device. Okay. Like you can say port number. So if you have a laptop or a computer, you know that you have at least 3 to 4 USB ports, right? So each and every port has its own address. So port numbers are there. Some internal data, some external data will be given as an input to the IO module. So here you can see M ports. Okay, so multiple ports are there. Okay, and each and every port has its own address, so that we know that from this port this kind of address has come. So this is an input port, this is an output port. You can define it. Okay, so once this inputs are given, these are separated as an internal data, external data and interrupt signal. Again I am telling you what is an interrupt. Interrupt is something for which we are stopping for a while or halting ourselves for a while. Example of interrupt, it's very simple. If you are traveling on a highway where you are going at a speed of 100 and you see a speed breaker in between, so what do? You speed up more or you decrease your speed? Yes, students, do you speed up or you decrease your speed on a speed breaker? Number of participation has gone down, only 3 participants are there. I want your answers. So only one answer up till now. Yeah, now answers have started piling down. Okay, Omkar, good answer. You can keep your speed as it is and you can try to avoid it. Okay, decrease the speed is the most common answer because it might harm the people those who are sitting inside or the car also, right? So that speed breaker is an interrupt because you're halting your regular process, right? Or you're waiting for a regular process, you're diverting from your regular process to do something else. Okay, so that is an interrupt. For an example, if your program is executing in a sequential way and there is certain electric fluctuation is there, or you want to do something, some urgent work, what you do, you'll halt that previously working process and you will do the urgent work first and then you will resume the previous process. That is called as interrupt. Okay, so next one. So similar to memory of a computer, there is an input is there. So input receives data from peripherals, sends data to a computer. Output receives data from a computer and sends to the peripheral. Peripherals means external connected devices. Okay, so in input, it receives control signals from a computer, sends control signals to peripheral as discussed before, receives address from a computer, that is port number to identify which peripheral. This is important. Okay, and sends interrupt signals if you want to interrupt any process which is actually going on or which is already in process. If you want to interrupt that process which is in execution, you use a interrupt signal. Okay, now next is CPU, who actually does the process or actually converts data from one form to another, is CPU. Okay, so what is the input to CPU? Data is there, instruction is there. So some kind of information is given to the CPU. Okay, and what kind of operation is to be done on that information. So instruction gives that kind of operation. Okay, and interrupt signal, in case of any emergency, you interrupt the flow of the system and you do the urgent work first and then you proceed with the regular sequence of a process. So having this inputs, if process is done or the operation is done, the output data will be stored either to memory or given to IO module for displaying, or as per the instruction some control signals, or as per the interrupt signal some control signals will be generated, and according to that the process of next uh, execution will be done. So depending on control signals, executions will be done accordingly. So whatever I have said, it is here. So read instructions and data, write out data after processing. So write out data is after processing. So that is this kind of data. This is after processing and this is before processing, like data required for processing and data after processing. Okay, sends control signal to other unit because CPU can only do the execution, but remaining data which is to be stored or displayed is done by other units. So CPU can receive interrupts in case of any emergency. Okay, interrupt means stop whatever you're doing and do the emergency work. Okay, so to do these things, all these components, all these modules are connected to each other using bus. Using bus. So what is bus? A communication pathway connecting two or more devices that we have seen yesterday. Okay. Usually broadcasted. What is broadcasting? You see your television at your house, right? So if you're watching a news at your house, okay, is your news different than mine? If we all are watching Aaj Tak, okay, channel Aaj Tak, so whatever news I am seeing at that same moment, like at 11:45, whatever news I am seeing is the same for you all, or is it different for all? So Darshan, yes, one signal to many, that is called as broadcasting. So from one signal, if multiple receivers are there, so that is called as broadcasting. Okay. So buses are mostly used for broadcasting. Now your answers are coming. All answers are correct. Okay. So I'll be showing your chats first. So you'll be happy to see yourself in chat. Yeah. So if you have any doubt during the sessions, you can ask me. Okay. Any kind of any doubts you can ask me. So I can rewind the presentation and I can explain you. Or if you are understanding the concepts and the videos correctly or this live session correctly, please hit the like button. So we'll move. This buses are mostly grouped. Okay, they are not single, they are grouped into number of channels. Okay, so one one bus might be used for address, one bus might be used for data, one might be used for control signal. So these are grouped in different ways and combinedly it is called as system bus. Okay, so address bus, data bus and control bus are the internal buses of a system. So 32-bit data bus is a separate single bit channel for sending data either from memory to CPU or from CPU to memory. Okay, so there are number of possible interconnections in the system. A single and multiple bus structures are most common in our computer system because uh, nowadays we have dual core, multi-core, 8-core, hexa-core, octa-core processors, right? So different processors are there, multiple processors are there, so that's why multiple bus structure are most common nowadays. But in previous days when processors were single like Pentium, okay, 486, 386, 286, so single bus architecture was there. Nowadays multi-bus architecture is there because multiple processes are working in parallel or in synchronization. That is to dual core, core to duo, octa core, hexa core, okay, that kind of thing. So control address data bus, that is your uh, internal buses, and unibuses mostly used in PDPs. Okay. So now data bus carries data. Okay, we have seen this yesterday only in our practical different types of buses. So data bus carries the data. Okay, and it can carry instruction also in form of data only. So if it is data or instruction, it is decided by the instruction register in the CPU. So data bus only carries data from one source to destination. Okay, so width of the this data bus can be 8, 16, 32, 64 bits. Okay, it is all doubled. Okay, and we know that how this width is calculated or what is the characteristic of a bus, right? So number of bits that bus can carry at a time, that is called as width of that data bus. Okay, and speed of the data bus, we have to see the frequency of that data bus. So how much current can be passed at a time on that bus, that is the frequency. Okay, are you getting me? So the number of data signals passed on that wired data bus is wired bus, you can say, with number of bits, that is the frequency of our bus. Fine, we have seen this yesterday only. Now address bus identifies source or destination of data. It only identifies source or destination. It does not send any kind of data. It identifies the source and data, source and destination. So CPU needs to read instruction, okay, that is data from a given location in the memory. So width determines the maximum memory capacity of a system. So 8086, that you'll be learning in practical also. We have some programs, assembly language programs. So you'll be doing on 8086 or 8080 or 80 family. Okay. So 16-bit address. So at least the bus gives 64K address spaces. So 16 to 16. So that is 64K address spaces. So that is 64,000 address spaces are there. So memory location, that is 64,000 memory locations are there for 8080. Are you getting me? Everyone. So number of live students are 55. Okay. So if you are getting it, just put a yes or no in comment. Okay. Now this is how the bus looks. So if you count this would be 16. Okay, so let's count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. So more than 16. Okay, so this bus, so number of lines carrying this is number of bits that can be transferred on a system. So this kind of buses that you see, like big yellows and red color lines, okay, are your buses in the computer. So mostly 32-bit are there. These wires are 32-bit, like 32 wires are here, okay, which is called as 32-bit bus. Okay, so what bus looks like? So parallel lines in a circuit board. So this, if this is a circuit board which is connected to each other, so this connecting circuit boards are called as buses. Okay, ribbons are also used, and nowadays SATA cables are used. So it is like a very small and flat SATA cable. In older days, these PCI cables were used, so which were huge in size. Okay, and it was very bulky and difficult to use. But nowadays, using SATA cables, this has improved the connectivity and the speed of a computer system. Okay, so what is buses? Mostly a set of wires working or connected parallelly to each other. Okay, so here we have also explained that a chipset is there which handles the external memory and external IO connection. So you can see Southbridge is connected to hard disk, your internet, USB drives, sound drives, and PCI slots. PCI stands for peripheral component interconnect. Northbridge, okay, it handles your internal memory, that is RAMs and ROMs. Okay, PCI Express slots, again, which helps like your graphic card is there, which is an which becomes an internal memory when it is connected. Okay, AGP slots, so again a graphic slot only, which is handled by Northbridge, and the connection goes to CPU. So Southbridge also sends its signals to Northbridge only. So CPU is the most busy person in our computer system. Next busy person is the Northbridge. Third one is the Southbridge. So combination of Northbridge and Southbridge is called as PC chipset. So when you are buying any system, always remember that your chipset should be powerful so that it can handle more performance in your system or higher performance in your. Okay, so here you can see backside buses are there, front side buses. Backside buses means your computer is having a back panel, right? Like where you uh, connect your monitors. Okay, you put your USB wires at the backside. Okay, so that is a back panel of a motherboard, so can be called as backside bus. Okay, system bus, combination of address, data, and control bus. Okay, bridges can be used for direct communication. Okay, like you can put any PCI slot here for communication, like any device directly connected to PCI slot. So it does not become a peripheral device, it becomes a internal device because it is directly connected to motherboard. So bridges are used. And front side buses, like front panel is there on